This script is a rewritten version of the original script for the material that was made on February 24th. Age restrictions have been placed on this video for some inappropriate words for the YouTube algorithm. During this rewrite, I will try to catch these words and change them so that this time age restrictions will not be imposed, because I want this film to reach a larger audience and maybe even ultimately influence someone's decision. That's why the title of the game is not accurate. Suicide Squad, Eliminate the Justice League, or Crackdown of Mayhem. Rocksteady Studios, what happened to you guys? After the brilliant games from the Arkham series, Asylum, City, Knight, after 8 years of work, is this what you want to present to us? Another game as service which is currently on the market in bunches? Another Marvel's Avenger blunder is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Here's an example of how the great fall. First things first. On the night of February 23rd to 24th, the PlayStation Showcase event took place, whose great start was to be the show of a new gameplay trailer from the well-known British studio Rocksteady Studios. Their games have not failed so far, apart from the issues of the PC port of Arkham Knight, which was the responsibility of those mediocrities from the Iron Galaxy Studios, who again showed their skills when porting the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection and The Last of Us. Digressions aside, people certainly expected something better. Not only that, but for people who, to put it mildly, do not like Gotham Knights from Warner Bros. Montreal released last year, it was an opportunity to dry the tears flowing down their cheeks. What a misfortune for these people. Not only did they not dry those tears, but they were also spit on. Because it turns out that this hope for a better Batman has just collapsed like a house of cards. What we saw is very similar to the previously released Marvel's Avengers, only in the Suicide Squad skin. In my opinion, it's even worse, because in Marvel's Avengers we had some variety. Some characters were good at melee, some at ranged, and some at hybrid. In addition, the combat, even very chaotic, is fun. Here, however, the only thing we saw was superheroism in the form of jumping like a kangaroo and non-stop shooting, which makes it seem that each character plays almost the same. Let's see, shall we? Harley Quinn swings, jumps, shoots, and occasionally hits with a baseball, but only during the finisher. Harley Quinn, who is an excellent acrobat and melee specialist, is reduced in this game to swinging like a Spider-Man, shooting, and throwing crazy texts that make the jaw clench from embarrassment. And she's not the only one doing that. Next, Deadshot has been given a jetpack and a can, like in Doom Eternal, aim in slow motion to shoot headshots. In addition, Floyd Lawton flies and shoots like a Boba Fett from Star Wars. They also changed his skin color, because when he was white in the games, he's now black. Blackwashing intensifies. Captain Boomerang is more like Captain Shotgun. He probably uses his boomerangs only for quick teleports and ultimates, because I haven't seen them used in any other ways in this gameplay. Where should be his primary weapons? Nope, we'll give him a shotgun and he'll be fine. Finally, King Shark, who jumps, shoots, and does ground pounds, and for a change, he will pull out 2 sickles and go for melee. It's just typical tank in any multiplayer game. Speaking of tanks, they must have liked Arkham Knight's Deathstroke armored tank so much that they added it as a regular enemy. Speaking of which, the design of the opponents we have to face. It's just lazy. We've got some helicopters, tanks, and artillery covered in some purple bulbs, so you know what to shoot at, plus some zombies lurking here and there. Very sublime enemy design, which I assume will be constantly recycled in missions. Ecological and cheap design of assets. From the trailer language to our players, complete boredom. Of course it all looks nice both in terms of graphics and audio. The story can be good too. After all, Brainiac's invasion on Earth, kidnapping and turning most of the Justice League into weak servants by applying systems to them to control their actions, is quite an interesting piece of history, as demonstrated by, for example, Injustice 2. A bit of typical what if and even a kind of endgame for DCU Extended Universe characters. But I feel like I rather watched it on the internet on channels that upload compilations of all cutscenes from the game than play this game's similar creation. Sure, it can be fun to play with a buddy or two, but that's not an argument at all, because you can have a nice time doing anything in the background while chatting. The thing is, if it was a studio that got us used to making such co-op crap and not a studio that gave us great single-player games, the response would be different. But no, because Rocksteady does it. And this is at a time when people are fed up with games, always online services with microtransactions. Let's not have any illusions that Suicide Squad will not be such a game. Even now, a few months before the premiere, which was finally moved to an indefinite period, the cosmetic-only Battle Pass was announced. Yeah, I think I've heard that somewhere before. There was a one game, quite high profile in terms of controversy, that sold so poorly that servers will be shut down this year. And I am not alone in this negative opinion. Several thousand thumbs down under the latest gameplay trailer proves something. For my part, I can only say, I told you so. A few months ago, I posted my opinion before the Gotham Knights release. I mentioned Suicide Squad there, knowing it was going to be game as service. And I expressed my concerns about what the game would look like. Looking through the prism of what I saw then, i.e. during this event on February 25th, I was right. Gotham Knights is the washings of the Arkham series, and even though they have nothing to do with it, we can't escape the comparisons. They have worse graphics, story, combat, uninteresting side activities, and a lot of technical problems, especially on PC, but I'd rather stay in this gloomy, dark, and atmospheric Gotham City than visit Metropolis. And do you know why? When all the problems of the PC port are eliminated and the de novo attraction is removed from the game, you will be able to return to this game without fear that its servers will be shut down in a moment. Because Gotham Knights is not an always online game, and Suicide Squad as a game service will be like this unless they change it after the release in some patch. I honestly don't understand the decision behind making more games as service. At a time when we have so many examples of brands that have been crushed under unfulfilled expectations of publishers, and we have witnessed watching them die and gradually bleed out as the number of players playing simultaneously approached zero. Are Anthem, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and Marvel's Avengers not enough for publishers to understand that this is not the way? Again, publishers think they know what's good for us. Games as services, season passes, battle passes, and let's not forget about loot boxes. Yeah, that's what people love about gaming, right? Wrong! What can we do in this situation? To show that we do not want this type of game simply by not pre-ordering it and not buying it. Everyone has their own tastes, and I am not stopping anyone from buying this game or calling for a boycott, because I really don't care how or what you spend your own earned money on. But the more people buy this semi-finished product, the more it will convince publisher, Warner Bros., it was a good decision and a gold mine, encouraging others to follow. Because it's happening. Just look at how many Battle Royale games suddenly started being created as soon as PUBG and Fortnite were successful. And this will only add another brick to further spoiling the computer games market. Because why try to create something new and innovative if people buy reheated chops year after year anyway? And if you're buying this game, you're just buying another looter shooter game. Unless you love this genre of games, then go ahead. But if you're looking for a good superhero game, I recommend that you play good old Batmans, which were created in the golden days of Rocksteady Studios, 2008-2015, or a port of Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered and Spider-Man Miles Morales. And when that's not enough for you and you have PlayStation 5, wait for Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac Games. Or, if you're a PC gamer like me, wait for the port of this game. Each of these listed games is worth the price, unlike Suicide Squad. For me, giving up on making a single-player game about Superman and the departure of the top founders and decision-makers from Rocksteady means that for me, this developer no longer exists. Of course they can continue to publish their game services and earn tons of money at very easy cost, but the magic and esteem that surrounded their game is gone forever. They became just another development studio creating games like those from Volition. Times are changing and nothing lasts forever, but who will fill this gap of good single-player superhero games? For now, Insomnia Games, but they won't be making games like this all the time. I hope that in the future we will see games that give us fans of superhero games what we expect. But I know one thing, they are definitely not like Marvel's Avengers and Suicide Squad eliminate the Justice League.